The screen flickers to life in the dim glow of a hospital corridor at 3 a.m. A single fluorescent tube buzzes overhead, casting long shadows on cracked linoleum. Sarah Khan, 32, mother of two, clutches a crumpled denial letter from Al-Shifa Clinic. The paper trembles in her hand the way her voice will tremble when she tells her children tomorrow that the cancer in her bones has been sentenced to grow unchecked. The camera lingers on her eyes, hollow, red-rimmed, still defiant. Then the lens swings to the parking lot outside, where a low rumble grows into a roar. Headlights slice the night. Leather jackets, patched vests, steel-toed boots. The Iron Reapers Motorcycle Club has arrived, and they didn't come for tea. If that image just yanked your heart into your throat, smash the like button right now and subscribe with notifications on, because this story is about to take you on a 400-minute emotional roller coaster you'll never forget. Sarah's journey to this midnight standoff started 6 months earlier in a cramped flat above a tailor shop in Gulshan-e-Iqbal, Karachi. The air always smelled of machine oil and fresh cotton, but lately it carried the metallic tang of fear. She first noticed the ache in her left femur during Maghrib prayer, sharp, like a needle driven straight to the marrow. By far, she couldn't stand. The free government hospital ran blood work, then ultrasound, then the biopsy that confirmed osteosarcoma. Stage 4. The oncologist, a kind-eyed woman who looked too young for the words she delivered, said, aggressive chemo and surgery could buy years, maybe a decade if we're lucky. But the protocol costs 4 million rupees up front. 4 million. Sarah's husband, Bilal, drove a rickshaw 12 hours a day and still brought home barely 40,000 a month. Their savings sat at 73 rupees and a half-eaten packet of Marie biscuits. They sold Bilal's late father's gold cufflinks. They sold Sarah's wedding jewelry. They sold the sewing machine that had stitched school uniforms for half the neighborhood. Still, the stack of rupees looked pathetic next to the clinic's deposit slip. Al-Shifa Clinic gleamed on the skyline of Clifton, marble floors, imported machines humming like contented cats, receptionists who smiled the way crocodiles do. Sarah arrived on the day of her appointment wearing her best shower kameez, the one with tiny mirrored circles that caught the light. The administrator, Mr. Raza, didn't look up from his ledger. Insurance? He asked. Sarah slid the public health card across the counter. He slid it back. Doesn't cover oncology here. Cash or approved corporate sponsor only. When she pleaded, he finally met her eyes. Policy, madam. Heartless? Maybe. But the board answers to shareholders, not sob stories. She left with the denial letter and a pain prescription she couldn't fill. That night she sat on the charpai in the courtyard, watching her sons, 7-year-old Hamza and 5-year-old Dua, chase each other with plastic swords. Every laugh felt borrowed. She recorded a 30-second video on her cracked phone. If anyone can help, please. I just want to see my babies grow up. She posted it to a local Facebook group called Karachi Cares. By morning, the clip had 200 views. By night, 2,000. Strangers left prayer emojis and broken heart reactions, but no one left money. Across the city, in a warehouse off Morapur Road, the Iron Reapers held their weekly church meeting. The club wasn't the outlaw stereotype, they were mechanics, port workers, a couple of ex-cops who'd grown tired of red tape. Their president, Tariq Bull Ahmed, had lost his own sister to leukemia a decade earlier because the family waited too long for a government bed. When the club's social media guy, a lanky 19-year-old named Skid, showed the video on the projector, the room went quieter than a mosque during sujud. Bull replayed Sarah's trembling voice twice. Then he slammed his fist on the table. We ride for her. The first obstacle was money, still. The Reapers weren't rich. They fixed bikes, ran a small halal burger truck, and organized toy runs for orphanages at Eid. Bull called an emergency fundraiser, Operation Bonefire. They printed T-shirts that read, "Cancer picked the wrong mom." They parked the burger truck outside Friday prayers at Masjid-e-Tuba and handed out free fries with every donation. A viral reel of bearded bikers in skull caps flipping patties hit 2 million views in 3 days. Cash rolled in, 10 rupees, 50, sometimes crisp thousands from anonymous white-collar fans who just wanted to believe in something. But money alone wouldn't move Al-Shifa's board. The clinic's CEO, Dr. Hamdani, gave interviews claiming resource allocation and waiting lists. Translation: poor patients diluted the brand. The Reapers needed leverage. Enter Aisha, Sarah's childhood friend and a crime reporter for Dawn. She'd been digging into Al-Shifa's finances and uncovered offshore accounts linked to Dr. Hamdani's brother-in-law. Nothing illegal enough for jail, but embarrassing enough for headlines. Aisha met Bull at a seaside chai stall. Over steaming dud patty, they hatched a plan that walked the thin line between justice and extortion. Phase 1: Public Pressure. The Reapers organized a healing ride, 500 bikes snarling through Sea View at dawn, engines synchronized to the azan playing from portable speakers. They carried banners, "Sarah's fight is our fight." Local news choppers circled overhead. Social media exploded. #Bonefire challenge trended above celebrity scandals. Phase 2: The clinic blockade. On the day Sarah's pain became unbearable, when even codeine couldn't quiet the fire in her bones, the Reapers rolled up to Al-Shifa's gates at 6 a.m. Not to destroy, but to occupy. They formed a human chain around the entrance, engines idling, preventing luxury SUVs from entering. Patients in hijabs and designer handbags fumed. Inside, Dr. Hamdani watched security feeds and sweated. Bull's voice boomed through a megaphone, "We're not leaving until Sarah Khan walks through these doors for treatment. Paid in full. No questions." By noon, the standoff was live on every channel. Politicians smelled votes. The health minister promised an inquiry. Al-Shifa's share price dipped 3%. At Mr. Raza, the same administrator who dismissed Sarah, appeared at the gate with a wheelchair and a new letter. This one read, "Approved." But the story doesn't end with a magic signature. Cancer doesn't care about viral campaigns. Sarah's first round of chemo hit like a sandstorm. She lost her hair in clumps that clogged the shower drain. Bilal sold the rickshaw to pay for anti-nausea drugs the hospital wouldn't cover. The Reapers rotated shifts at the oncology ward, big, tattooed men in leather vests reading Quran outside her door so the nurses wouldn't feel scared. Skid taught Hamza and Dua to draw flames on paper that they taped to mommy's four-pole, burn the cancer, not the spirit. Between cycles, Sarah discovered new enemies. Infection from a lowered white count. A blood clot in her lung that left her gasping like a fish on sand. Each time, the Reapers rallied. They smuggled biryani past the no-outside food rule. They FaceTimed her mother in interior Sindh when travel wasn't possible. Bull's old army medic buddy flew in from Peshawar to consult on pain management. The emotional Nadir came the night before surgery to remove the tumor and replace her femur with titanium. Sarah, bald and skeletal, asked the nurse to wheel her to the chapel, or what passed for one, a quiet corner with a prayer mat. There she recorded another video, this time for the Reapers. "If I don't wake up, promise me my kids will know they were loved by an army." She woke up. The surgeon, Dr. Fatima, high-fived the recovery nurse. "Clean margins. We got it all." Rehab was brutal. Learning to walk on a metal leg while poison still dripped into her veins. The Reapers built a ramp at the flat. They taught Hamza to oil the prosthetic knee. Dua insisted on polishing the titanium until it shone like a superhero shield. 10 months after the blockade, Sarah stood, slowly, carefully, at the Reapers' annual iftar. The warehouse had been transformed with fairy lights and banners reading, "1 year cancer-free." She wore a new dupatta, emerald green, the color of hope in her village. When Bull handed her the mic, her voice didn't waver. I came to you broken, she said. You gave me bones of steel, outside and in. But the real miracle wasn't the money or the headlines. It was learning that family isn't just blood. Sometimes it rides in on two wheels and smells like engine grease. The room erupted. Grown men wiped tears on bandanas. Skid Live streamed the speech. Within hours it had 20 million views. Yet the story keeps writing itself. Al-Shifa, facing lawsuits and PR nightmares, launched the Sarah Khan Foundation, free oncology beds for 10 low-income patients annually. The Reapers became official ambassadors. Bull testified before a parliamentary committee on healthcare reform. His cute traded for a crisp shower camise but the same fire in his eyes. Sarah returned to sewing, this time designing patches for biker jackets, a femur bone wrapped in barbed wire and roses. Every patch sold funds another treatment. Hamza wants to be an oncologist. Dua wants to ride a Harley before she's 10. Bilal bought a new rickshaw, second-hand, but with Reaper's flames airbrushed on the side. And every Eid, the Iron Reapers ride to Sarah's courtyard. Engines cut. Helmets come off. The big men sit cross-legged on mats while Sarah serves sheer kurma. The children fall asleep against leather vests that have carried them through nightmares. Because sometimes the system fails. Sometimes the world is cruel. But sometimes, when no one else will, the bikers step in to do what no one else could. If this story cracked your heart open and glued it back stronger, do 3 things right now. 1. Like this video. 2. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss the next chapter. 3. Share Sarah's message with someone who needs reminding that heroes don't always wear capes, sometimes they wear helmets and answer to Bull. The ride isn't over. Cancer still lurks in scans and statistics. But every sunrise, Sarah wakes up, touches the titanium in her leg, and whispers a dua for the strangers who became brothers. And somewhere across the city, engines rev in answer. Because hope has a sound. And it roars.